So good morning everyone. Our topic for today is all about cooperative learning. But before we proceed with our discussion, let's define first of what is cooperative learning. Groups are formed and assignments are designed in such a way that learners must collaborate to achieve goal, solve an issue, make a decision, or create a product. Okay, so from the word itself, cooperative, masud dayon sa atong hunahuna ang groupings. Since sa groupings, mahitabo ang cooperation, collaboration, teamwork, including pair tutoring, brainstorming, right? So, in cooperative learning, kay i-groups ang mga students, then every group kay tagaan og task sa teacher in which they will do it with teamwork and cooperation so that they can create a good product as a group. Second, strategies are used to facilitate the creation of a positive and supportive classroom climate. Ang cooperative learning sa DI is a teaching strategy in which the positive and supportive classroom environment for students will build. Kay through this kind of learning, kay maka-encourage sa social connection, positive self-esteem development, and supporting actions sa ilahang grupo. Lastly, teaching style in which students work together to achieve common goals. Ang cooperative learning kay usa sa mga teaching style na makita ang pagtinabangay sa mga students as a group para makabot or ma-achieve nila ang objectives or goals sa ilahang grupo. In addition, multi-grade teachers can also use cooperative learning to make his or her class more interactive and engaging, especially they're handling different grade levels of students. Masabtan na ba kung unsa ang cooperative learning? Okay, very good. Now, there are 5 basic steps in cooperative learning. The first one is the positive interdependence. Mao ni siya ang positive gani na pagsalig ninyo sa usag-usa, wherein ang mga students kay nagtrabaho isip usa ka nagkahiusa nga grupo aron katong mga objectives or aims sa ilang grupo kay ma-achieve jud nila. Second is the accountability or individual accountability. Mao ni siya ang tagsa-tagsa ka tulubagon or responsibility sa kada member sa group. So this is where ang mga students or each member of the group will do their best, like responsibility jud nila na mo share or mo hatag og ideas na makatabang sa ilahang grupo ug ang grupo nila will function efficiently. Third is we have group processing or ang paglihok sa grupo. Sa group processing, nag-reflect ang group sa learning process para mas mulambo or munindot ang outcome sa ilahang grupo. Dapat muhatag jud ang kada members og contribution na magamit or effective. Fourth is the interpersonal and social skills. So kani kay each member of the group are working together, trust each other, and resolve conflicts together to achieve their goal as a group. Lastly, we have promotive interaction or interaction para sa success sa grupo. This kind of interaction kay makita nimo ang pagtinabangay sa students or members sa kada grupo or nagkahiusa sila sa pag-solve og problems na na-encounter sa ilahang grupo, nagkahiusa sila in decision making kung unsa ang mas makaayo sa ilahang grupo. Now let's proceed with the 5 guidelines in cooperative learning. The seating arrangement in the classroom should be designed to enhance group cooperation. First is, dapat ang seating arrangement sa classroom kay open or dali ra siya para sa pag-create og groupings gani, like dili gani kaayo lagyon ang mga lingkuranan wherein pwede ra sila maka-as ka ilang tapad, luyo or atubangan, dili malisudan ang mga students sa pag-approach sa ilang classmates if ever na sila gusto ipapangutana. Second, students must be aware of their group members' shared responsibilities through task division. Dapat sa jud na aware ang students or each member sa group sa ilahang tagsa-tagsa ka responsibilidad as part of the group, dili kay magsalig lang sa leader, and para mag-guide ang students kung unsa ilahang responsibility or role sa group, they will use a task division wherein magsabot sila if kinsa himuong facilitator or group leader, assistant leader, spokesperson or kinsay timekeeper, etc. na makakontribute sa grupo. Last is incentivize students to take on given tasks with accountability for group learning by offering rewards for success. So sa diri na part kay ang teacher mohatag og incentive pwede perfect score or materials na rewards the students, like for example taga niyag perfect score ang grupo na successful ang performance or nindot ang nahimong product ana na group, para katong ubang group na wala makakuha og perfect score or any reward kay mas maninguha or mamotivate pa na magkugi para sa success sa ilahang group. And now, let's hear from Mr. Morden the continuation on the remaining two guidelines of cooperative learning.
The fourth types of cooperative learning is to ensure that each group member should understand the goal and the process of assigned work. So this sentence is very understandable, no? So dapat ang member, so every member in the group should understand the goal and the process of the assigned work. For example, kanang um, mag groupings. For example, 5 ka grupo, then dili lang kay ang leader lang mo ay saligan. Dapat every member is nakibaw sa assigned work nila para dili sad mayabo ang ilahang presentation or any group activities. This is the last type of cooperative learning. Each group is made up of students varying abilities, high average and low performers. So sa every group kuno, so kada grupo naman jud nay high kanang mga advanced students, kanang mga slow learners. So matapok na siya kana ang dapat may involve na sila tanan kay para matabangan, or else kana ang makasabutan tanan mao bitaw ng kinahanglan. Each member should understand the goal and process of assigned work para makahiusa tanan. Are types of cooperative learning. First is think, pair, and share. So think, pair, and share is a type of cooperative learning. Learners think themselves about the certain topic assigned by the teacher. Then they will form a group with other students to discuss it and present their findings to the full class. So the think, pair, and share is allow students to define for individuals reflection or find individuals reflection, thinking and processing new information before they may be influenced by the other students. So, for example, in a class, nabasa sila story about the great jelly skin. Then the student, and then the teacher allows the student to think, pair, and share. So, about the story. Then the students are trying to think, pair, and share about about the story, and then they're going to respond the questions. Would you able to be friends with jelly? Why or why not? So that is an example of the question about think, pair, and share. So the other types of cooperative learning will be discussed with the other reporter.
So the second type of cooperative learning is jigsaw puzzle. So the jigsaw method of teaching is a collection of themes that students will fully develop before coming together to form an idea. Or it is a method of teaching with a set of collection of themes nga kailangan i-develop sa mga students before sila mo form og idea. So, similar to how a jigsaw puzzle is a collection of different pieces that come together to form a complete picture. So, familiar naman siguro ta kung unsa nang jigsaw puzzle, no? So, it is a type of cooperative learning because students come together to form a complete picture, or students come together to form an idea. So, through grasping pieces and matching jigsaw pieces together, children also improve their spatial awareness and hand-eye coordination. This is the ability to coordinate what the eyes see with what the hands do and what the brain pictures, and can be helpful in several situations such as playing sports. So, ano man. In matching jigsaw pieces together, it can help improve hand and eye coordination because what the brain remembered is what will the hands and eye will do. What I mean ba is kung unsay na remember sa brain about the picture nga gimatch, automatically hands and eyes will coordinate to form the piece of pictures. So, jigsaw puzzle is what and how the students coordinate with each other to form a piece or picture of ideas and word. The third type of cooperative learning is small mixed activity group. So, what is small mixed activity group? So, this is a cooperative method that allows students to collaborate to complete a collaborative job or assignment that will be shared with the entire class. So, these are the basic steps. So, first step is divide the class into groups that are usually heterogeneous or lain-lain. Second is each member of the group is allocated a certain rule. Third is the group will be presented with a purpose, methods, grading criteria, and collaboration skills. And next is the instructor observes and assesses both individual and group performance. And lastly, students will reflect or by journal writing on their interaction in the assigned group activity. So, what I explained is the basic steps in performing small mixed activity group. The attached picture is an example activity in small mixed activity group. So the topic is perimeter of a rectangle. So subject is mathematics of course. So naadira first column is the time, second is first row rather, time and day 1, then teachers activities, learners activities, and techniques or materials used. So first is in day 1, identify in teachers activity, identify the parts of a rectangle. How many lengths are there in a rectangle? Which part of the rectangle is width? How many widths are there in a rectangle? So it is guided by activity and discussion. And then learners activities in day 1, identify and label the parts of a rectangle, and with a pair using a given material. And then the techniques or materials used is think, pair, and share. And then the other is cut out rectangles and markers. In day 2, the teacher's activities is explain the task, distribute activity cards. And then first is assigning task or rules, who will be the recorder, timekeeper, runner, checker. And then the second is the measure the identified place using a meter stick. And then the third is draw the location of the place, label and write the dimensions, the length or the meters, the width or meters. And then number 4 is solve the perimeter of the identified place. And then number 5 is discuss and check the answers. So the learner's activity is assume rules on the given task, and then measure and solve the perimeter of the identified places in the campus. So the learner's activity here in day 2 is that each of them corresponds rule. So who will be the runner, who will be the checker, and who will be the timekeeper. And then the techniques or materials that is used is they used small mixed groups, worksheets, ball pens, meter stick, and pieces of chalk. And for day 3, For teachers' activities is lead presentation of group outputs, debrief the activity. So first question is how difficult was it to measure and solve for the perimeter of the assigned places in the campus? Second question is did everyone in the group participate actively? And the third question is how teamwork assists your learning? For the learner's activity is the presentations of group outputs, describe group process, and then the techniques or materials used is whole group and then journal writing. So every group member has their journal writing to write their reflection on the activity that they did on the previous 2 days. So any questions, clarifications? Once again, I am Ria Jean Sigara and thank you for listening to our discussion which is all about cooperative learning.